What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the First Mint. It's been a little while. You got LG Doucette and the real Phil D, and we're going to break down really quick the 80 new moments that we know are coming on NBA Top Shot. Some of them have been minted. Some of them are just listed in Top Shot Explorer, which is very mysterious, but we do have an idea of what they are. Phil D, it's been a long time, bro. How has your collecting been in the last month since we did a First Mint Friday?
I think my collection probably has gone down from like 100 moments to 50 moments since the last time we did the show. Yeah, but no, listen.
Wow.
No, that's not a bad thing. I can't even withdraw. So it's not like I'm withdrawing. I'm not building thousands and thousands of dollars in Dapper for anything like that. It's just that I've kind of downsized my collection and gone for more expensive stuff. But as you know, LG, people watch our collections all the time. And I've had some crazy like panic emails from people saying, oh, you're leaving the platform. No, please have a look at what I'm doing. Everything I'm buying is rare stuff. Is stuff that's more expensive. I'm in challenges and stuff. So yeah, things have changed a little bit. I'm on a different course right now, and I love it.
Phil D, we're here to talk about the new holos, and you immediately start with a public defense of your collection. I love it. I love it.
Hey, I don't have a choice. You know how it is. Like I said, everything we do is mine.
And that's totally it. And anybody who hears that and panics, don't worry. It's been a very normal strategy for I think a lot of people in the last couple of weeks to maybe dump some of the more common Series 2 moments and actually look to consolidate into some good Series 1 stuff. Maybe some players you love, Phil D. I know you're a huge fan of, especially some of the Canadian players like Jamal Murray, Shai Gilgeous. I'm sure you've been picking up some of those guys. And that's not a bad strategy. I've been doing some of the same. But today we got to focus. We have a lot of new stuff in the hopper. So the big talk in the last couple of days has been when this next Holo Icon drop is going to happen. We know that there are 30 moments of those. Let's take a look at what they're going to be. We kind of have a sense of what types of plays they are, but we haven't listed them here. But basically, this is what we're looking at. We got 30 new players, and we've marked which ones are the rookies. So let's go through them. We got John Collins, Kyrie Irving, Jason Tatum, Terry Rozier, Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton, Kristaps Porzingis, Jamal Murray. Phil D, you must be excited. Josh Jackson, which a lot of people on Twitter immediately were like, why is this guy on the list of legendary Holo Icon? Draymond Green, John Wall, Domantas Sabonis, Paul George, LeBron James, obviously going to be the most popular one. Ja Morant, Bam Adebayo, Anthony Edwards, Lonzo Ball, Julius Randle, Darius Baisley, another one maybe in that Josh Jackson category.
There's a couple guys in that category.
Hey man, you know, no legendary moment is a bad moment. Terrence Ross, Chris Paul, Damian Lillard, Keldon Johnson, nice. Pascal Siakam, Donovan Mitchell, Bradley Beal, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Ben Simmons, Tyrese Halliburton. I just want to remind everybody before we dive into these that, again, this is the second batch of Holo Icons for Series 2. We saw the first batch back in February, and we'll talk about how that drop went in just a minute. But Phil D, these are the next 30 Holo Icons. The 3 challenge rewards are Giannis, Ben Simmons, Tyrese Halliburton. On this list, aside from the obvious LBJ, what stands out to you as a solid player to pick up here in a Holo?
I mean, it's pretty obvious. If you're not getting a LeBron, which LeBron will be the equivalent of winning the lottery. Sorry, getting a pack, a Holo pack, a legendary pack is winning the lottery. But if you can actually score a LeBron on top of that, you've probably hit the lottery twice. That's the way I see it. So, I mean, we've discussed this many times. When people have come on our shows and cracked open packs and they pretend to be excited when they get stuff. I've always wanted more of a genuine reaction where if they get a Baisley or something, they like throw their computer and get all pissed off because that's legit. There's two sides to look at it. If you get a pack, you're super lucky. But if you get a pack, you also want to get something, something worth it or something. I shouldn't say worth it because the value of it be worth more than the pack. But you also want to get something special, right? Getting a LeBron would be special. So guys that are on the same level as LeBron, well, again, can't say same level, but that would be maybe close to LeBron. I think Anthony Edwards, the way he's played in the second half of the year and the obsession with him and all the dunks and dunk of the year, he's got like 5 of the top 7 or whatever. I think Anthony Edwards will be wildly popular. And then you'll have people, I get DMs all the time. Why is Bradley Beal potentially the leading scorer in the league this year? Why is he not more popular? He's just not. I don't know what it is. It's just the nature of some of these players, like Bradley Beal, such a good example. You'd think a guy like Bradley Beal would be, on the next level in the tier 1 or tier 2 of Top Shot. He's not.
No, absolutely. That's it. It's always, we always have to remember it's a bit of a popularity game. And the reality is that Bradley Beal has only done so much in terms of big accolades in his career, right? He's a great scorer, but how many playoff rounds has he won, right? Like a handful. How many awards has he won? How deep has he gone in the postseason? Not that far. So that's just kind of how it works. But I find interesting too with the Holo Icon is that, first of all, like, I don't know if we expected to see more Holo Icon, but also the important thing here is that these are considered part of the core set group, which is like base, metallic, and hollow. We're going to get some of the other ones in a minute. But that these are essentially moments that I think are considered long-term value moments within Top Shot and especially potentially in hard court down the line. So that's going to be interesting. Phil D, if you're looking at these legendary moments, which by the way, we're going to assume this pack is going to be priced at $9.99 again, right? Can we assume that?
Absolutely. I mean, okay. I've always wondered why Top Shot's not upping the ante a little bit, knowing how many people line up for them. But I mean, we won't give them any ideas. If they want to stick to $9.99, we'll gladly join that queue again. So I think so.
So Phil D, without looking at the analytics or anything like that, if the packs that these moments are in go for $9.99, are there any players here that you could see their moment going for less than that on the marketplace?
Well, I can only compare to what happened last time. But last time there was a legendary drop. We didn't have that many people in the platform. And it's really hard to gauge because people keep telling me that we're going to see $1 moments. So like, hey, hold on. When those pre-order packs drop, those $1 moments are coming back for sure. I don't know if you checked today, but they're still not able to go below $5. It is absolutely crazy right now. I know a lot of people haven't opened their packs, but it's hard to gauge. Last time I was able to buy, I think it was Ayton. I got an Ayton Holo right after the drop for around $1,300. He blew up after that when he was part of the challenge and all that. But I do think that at the very beginning, we will see players like Darius Bazley, which will be the disappointing players. I hate to say it, but those will be the disappointments of these packs. If you get a Josh Jackson or a Darius Bazley or a T-Ross, I hate to say T-Ross because T-Ross is involved with the platform. I even had somebody in a private chat tell me, I said, listen, don't lie to me. If you get a T-Ross, you're going to be disappointed. You just are. That's the nature of it. He said, no, not really, because I know that I can tweet him and ask him to buy it, and he might. So that's a different way to look at it. T-Ross, who's involved with Top Shot, maybe brings a bit of a different dynamic to that. But if you're getting a T-Ross, a Darius Bazley, or a Josh Jackson, LG, you're like anybody else. You'll be a little bit disappointed.
Totally. And again, you got to be stoked that you get a legendary and consider holding it too. These aren't just lottery tickets. Some people want to hold these, but I will say that, yeah, totally. Some of the less star players are probably some of the duds. I would also say at this point in the season, Phil D, that anybody on here who's not on a team that's going to the playoffs would be a disappointment as well. Because even though some of these are great players, like once the playoff starts, you're not thinking about Colin Sexton. This year, you're not thinking about Pascal Siakam. You know what I mean? I hate to say that. We're Raptors fans. Or Lonzo, right? It's like, we're not talking about those guys in 2 months, right? Those guys are out of the playoffs. They're golfing. And it's like, in terms of longevity, these Holo Icons, especially once these challenges come around, those are going to be some of the less popular ones. So even going into the playoffs to get a new legendary, it's like you definitely want to pick up like a Kyrie or something like that, right? Like that's, or John Wall's another guy on a non-playoff team by a mile we might not see for a while, right? But like guys like a Kyrie, a Paul George, a Lillard, like those will be good playoff guys. Before we got 30 metallic golds to look at, as well as 20 base moments. Phil D, looking at this, we know we got 30 of these coming out. We don't know when it's going to happen. We've seen the page for stress test number 27, release 27. We know that a stress test usually precedes a big drop. So we know we're going to have to see a stress test first, probably before we see Holo Icon drop. What's your read on when that happens?
I mean, we're running out of time for what my prediction originally was. It was Sunday afternoon. I thought they were going to go with the Sunday afternoon drop,
which is tomorrow. Right now,
which is tomorrow.
We're what? Today's
right.
Saturday, April 10th. So you're saying tomorrow was your original
I'm
prediction.
saying tomorrow, but I mean, if we don't get the email in the next, I'd say 4 or 5 hours, it's not happening. They've been really good with these types of drops, even though I've only been through one legendary drop, but we knew well ahead. I mean, it was almost like 24-hour notice at least. So tomorrow's looking unlikely. I don't know if they do a legendary in the middle of the week, so we may be looking at next Friday or something like that. But I still think we may be going with tomorrow, and if we don't, I'll predict Friday. They love doing Fridays. Something big always happens on a Friday. I don't see it being on a Tuesday. It would get a lot more attention on a Friday. I think Friday is our day if it doesn't come this weekend.
And what do you think the pack drop restrictions are going to be? There's been a lot of rumors, a lot of hints dropped in office hours and in Discord by some of the Top Shot team. We've heard a lot of different theories. Even Greg Murray and I were chatting a couple weeks ago on the podcast that it could be you have to own a certain amount of moments, like 3 or 5 or 10.
Yeah.
You have to have been in Top Shot for a certain amount of time, which now we're seeing gifting restrictions are reflecting that your account has to be 30 days old, or you have to have made your first purchase 30 days ago. A lot of people are saying it's going to be that you have to have completed a challenge previously to be eligible. Out of all that, Phil, what do you think?
I think, this is such a tough one because no matter how you look at it, it'll be called unfair, because we had this discussion on Twitter earlier, and I love engaging in long threaded discussions on Twitter with tons of different opinions, because the more you do that, you see the types of collectors that are involved with Top Shot, and you realize that everybody is different in the way they collect. So how is Top Shot going to shut some people out just because, say, they don't own 20 moments and haven't collected a challenge, but they've invested like $50,000 on other stuff, right? There are some collectors. We had an example of someone earlier who said he's only owned 6 or 7 moments, which would qualify probably for nothing right now, but they're worth over $5,000 or $10,000. That's how he's collecting. He's spending a lot of money on stuff, only stuff he wants. He doesn't care about challenges, doesn't care about packs. He's just buying stuff he wants. So are you going to tell someone who's invested that much money you can't be part of a legendary drop? I don't know. But LG, I mean, we talked about this off air. No matter what they do, and I'll tell you what I think they'll do. No matter what they do, someone will be upset. Someone will want to burn the house down. There are different groups of collectors, and they're going to want to burn Top Shot down the minute that that's announced. It'll be a mad scramble. I can't wait for it. So I'll tell you now what I think that they're going to do. Real quick. I think it's going to be a simple moment requirement. If they decide to go with challenges completed, they'll make it only one, because they ran that Mike Conley challenge, which was the easiest challenge of all time to complete because it cost almost nothing. Maybe they had that in mind when they were, when Legendary was coming up. That was an easy one to do. 6,000 or 7,000 people did it. Same with the last Cool Cats. It didn't cost anything, which is another group of collectors. That's a lot of people. But challenges, again, a lot of top collectors don't do challenges. So are you really going to tell them, hey, you're locked out because you don't do challenges, but you own 5,000 moments? You know what I mean? I don't know. That's really tough. I think they're going to be in a tough position, and that customer service team better go from 10 people, whatever they've got it at now, to like 40 people by the time that requirements are announced.
Absolutely. Last question about Holo before we look at metallic gold and base set. If you're looking at some of your favorite players, right? And I'm thinking like a LeBron or a Giannis, and you want to collect their legendary moments as a long-term collecting, play. Does it bother you that they get more legendaries? And someone like LeBron, this is his 5th legendary. Giannis, this will be his 6th. But there's a lot of other guys in here. It's like there's 11 of these players. It's only their 2nd legendary moment. So you could say that it's a bit of dilution of the value of their other legendary. What's your take on that?
No, a LeBron is a LeBron, no matter what. We can never discuss LeBron in the same group as others. Giannis is a bit of a different story.
Yeah.
Giannis, I've noticed Giannis, popularity-wise, is not one of the top 3 or 4 guys on Top Shot. A little surprising, the MVP and all that. It's a little surprising. He's a very popular player, but he doesn't seem to have reached a popularity level like some of the other guys. So I think the more moments, and especially legendaries of Giannis, I think a guy like that, it does impact. But a LeBron, isn't there a LeBron moment where there's none for sale? I forgot. What is it? One of the
it's the Holo and the Cosmic. Yeah, both of them. I think.
None of them are available for sale. So that tells you right there that LeBron James will always have the demand. I think you can never meet the any sort of levels of demand for LeBron James, no matter what they do.
Okay, but what about like a Jamal Murray, one of your favorite players? This will be a 2nd legendary moment.
Yeah,
if you own his Series 1 legendary, which I think is a Holo, are you pissed off that there's another Holo coming of him?
And what's the min size of that first one? Is it?
It would be 50 if it's a Holo.
50.
Yeah.
No,
so
I'm not
99.
I think
These are 99.
if they eventually release like 10 or 15 of them, maybe. But again, if the first was 50 and this one's 99, what's the total on that? That's very low. That's still 140 total, right? Legendaries in the world. We're talking about in the world of collectibles.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's all there is. But down the line, if he ends up having 20 or 25 of them in the next 3 years, that completely changes things. But for me, a player like Jamal Murray, if I can get one of only 140, whether it be from the first one or the second one, I'm all over it. But that's a personal preference. It may turn off some people.
Okay. Great stuff. Holo Icon, we don't know when it's going to happen. It's going to be an exciting drop. We don't know how many people are going to be eligible. Other stuff that comes in that Holo Icon pack, and this is historically, every legendary pack come with 3 metallic gold moments, which in this case for Series 2, we know are going to be minted at $4.99, limited edition. So there's going to be 3 in these packs. Yesterday, we saw 30 new of those moments get minted. Here they are. I'm going to list them out. We got Cam Reddish, DeAndre Jordan, Kemba Walker, PJ Washington, Patrick Williams, Jared Allen, Michael Porter Jr., Killian Hayes, Kelly Oubre Jr., Jayshawn Tate, TJ McConnell, Serge Ibaka, Dennis Schroeder, Jonas Valanciunas, Goran Dragic. Man, this is like playing a fun little game. Dante DiVincenzo, Malik Beasley, Josh Hart, Al Horford, Michael Carter Williams, which only he only has one other moment. It's the run it back moment from the 2013-2014 season. This is his first non-run it back moment. Seth Curry, Cameron Johnson. It's not his first moment. He has a base one. Nurkic, Rashawn Holmes, Anunoby, Bogdanovich, Bojan Bogdanovich, Davis Bertans, Doncic, Obi Toppin, and DeRozan. And in there, we've marked here on the screen, if you're watching, which one of those guys are rookies is also Rashawn Holmes, his Top Shot debut, and 4 rookies in here, Obi Toppin, Tate, Hayes, and Williams. Phil D, anything just jump out to you from this list of metallic golds?
I can't. I mean, I can't lie. I have to keep it real. This is. I mean, Luka. I don't know.
Luka's going to get the challenge reward too. Sorry, I didn't say Luka, Obi Toppin, and DeMar DeRozan are the challenge rewards. So that's really exciting. But yeah, go ahead.
I know the metallic goals, they have a funny way of putting some of these reward players, and I never understand it. But I mean, again, for me, Christian Wood right now is not a guy I would ever do a challenge for. This list is rough. I'm not going to lie. This is, if I'm looking at the list, I mean, I think it evens the playing field where, you know, everyone's going to have just kind of a tier 5 or 6 player, even lower than that. I think if I'm looking at the list personally, I would be happy with a JV or something like that, just because we're Raptors fans. We love JV, naturally. Always love DeMar. Obviously, I mean, you said he's a reward, so that might be one I would go for. Luka, I'm assuming I'd go for that one if I'm doing this challenge. But guys like Jayshawn Tate, but that's tough too because the rookies, we talk about it. Do you remember these tier 2 or tier 3 rookies from 3-4 years ago? You don't. Nobody cares about those guys. Right? There's a lot of hype around rookies right now, only because we don't have that many rookies on Top Shot to really base it on. So people love rookies.
The badges are so new as well. Right. And I think through Top Shot, even personally for me, my experience in the NBA, being an NBA fan, it's like I feel like I pay so much more attention to who rookies are. Like I feel like in past years, I wouldn't really know who Devin Vassell is. You know what I mean? I wouldn't really be thinking of that. Or even like Jayshawn Tate, obviously he's an older rookie. I'd be like, maybe in passing, I'd be like, oh, that's interesting. They have that guy on the Rockets. But like in a normal year, I wouldn't care about a rookie on the last place team in the league. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't, who isn't like a young, he's young, but he's not, he's not 19. He's not, he's a little bit older. So it's kind of a weird thing, right? With the rookies, it's like, maybe Patrick Williams will turn out to be like, he's great, but it's like, that you still need to wait a couple years to know if he's going to be like a truly good player, solid player in the NBA.
Just a rough list overall, if you ask
me. It's a rough list of the metallic gold. Yeah. Quick reminder again to everybody listening and watching: metallic gold also part of the base set of moments, or the core set. Sorry, along with base and holo, where all of them. What's really unique is that the artwork on the moment is actually the team logo and not some other type of artwork. And that again, these are the last rare moments that will ever be minted at $4.99. This current metallic gold series of Series 2. After that, all rare or all any other rare moments that come out are going to be minted probably at like at least 1,000. Those edition changes, which were made public a couple weeks back. So these are, in a weird way, kind of considered legendary because there are going to be so few long term. But again, not too many studs in this one. Also to note that this, very similar to Holo Icon, we're almost doubling the supply of Series 2 metallic golds here. So previous to this list, we had 50 from Series 2, including the rewards. And now obviously there's 30 new ones. So we're going to have 80. So a bit of dilution there. Okay, last list, Phil D. This one caught me by surprise last night when they started putting them out. Is totally new base set moments, including some relatively unknown players on this list. A lot of them making their Top Shot debut. I'm gonna be honest with you, Phil D. Like, I never thought I'd say this, especially because I spent all day covering NBA Top Shot. I had to Google one or two names. I fully admit that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I had to actually look up who one or two of these guys are. I'm going to read it out. Some of these are going to be minted at 12,000. Some of them are going to be minted at 4,000, and a lot of them are going to be minted at 35,000. Again, 4,000 being if it's the player's first game in their rookie debut, and 12,000 being if it's their Top Shot debut, but not a rookie year. So they are Skylar Mays, Tony Snell, Jeff Green, Robert Williams 3. People really excited for him. Malik Monk, Dean Wade, which people saw D Wade and got really excited, and turns out it was Dean Wade. Tim Hardaway Jr., Bol, Dennis Smith Jr., Danielle House Jr., Ivica Zubac, Alex Caruso, Max Struss, Naz Reid, Derrick Rose, Alexei Pokushevsky. Is that how you say it?
Just call him Poku.
Just Poku. We'll just say Poku. I have to work on that. Furkan Korkmaz, and Nasser Little, Chimezie Metu, and Jordan Clarkson. About half of these guys Top Shot debut. Phil D, what's standing out on this one? If you're opening a base pack and you got to draw one of these guys, which one do you want?
Well, here's what I want to know. I want to know how Jordan Clarkson, who is the potential 6th man of the year in the NBA, slots in with these. I mean, this is like a list where they said, you know what? We just have to get the remaining guys who played a game in the NBA this year out there with a moment for some of them. I mean, Poku is the hottest thing right now because he's getting a lot of playing time with OKC, and he's actually playing really well. People love the name. People love European players, so they love that whole angle. Yeah. But I just don't know how Jordan Clarkson, maybe they decided, hey, 6th man of the year, we need to give him another moment. People need to go crazy. The rest of the list, like you said, Robert Williams, one to get excited for, although I don't know that I would know much about him if I didn't have him in my own fantasy basketball league. Mm-hmm. So I only know him because he's been doing really well in fantasy basketball. Derrick Rose finds his way into this group after that reward for the gift. I don't know. This is a really strange list. And Tim Hardaway Jr. Yeah. I mean, who wants more Tim Hardaway Jr.? Almost nobody.
I mean, he's only got one moment on Top Shot, and it's a metallic gold from Series 2. So he just had his Top Shot debut. Yeah. But I mean, they got to make. But the thing is, too, Phil D, is like you do need lists like these to come out to make the other players more exciting. And I mean that as no offense to anybody here, anybody that's on this list, but it's like, again, getting a common base LeBron is not as exciting if they mint 50 of them, right? So to prop that up, you need a couple Bulls, you need a couple Zubacs, you know what I mean? So it's like, so that is kind of interesting. I actually think, one weird thing I actually find in Top Shot is I find that guys maybe with like interesting names are actually kind of picked up a little bit more. So even someone like Skylar Mays to me is like, well, I don't know, maybe a lot of people are going to find out who that is through Top Shot, right? So that's not necessarily the worst thing. Okay, cool. That's enough of that. We covered Holo Icon really quick before we sign off. Phil D, we got a month left till the playoffs. What is your strategy looking like these days?
I mean, it's tough because you want to look at the guys that are up for the MVP award, but on Top Shot, that's just not how it works. Joel Embiid, although I don't think he's part of it, but Joel Embiid, James Harden, guys like that, they've kind of peaked in popularity on Top Shot. So I would love to buy into guys who will potentially win the MVP, but it's just not how it works. I think even if they win the MVP, the usual pattern will happen. You'll see the price go up a little bit, then people just sell the rest off, right? We see it every time. So it's hard to really gauge. I think success in the playoffs is going to matter in terms of if anything is going to skyrocket, we'll see it. But right now, LG, we're part of a pretty big dip in the market. It's great for buyers right now. If you like players, I suggest buying their moments. That's the way I've kind of approached it right now. So for me, I'm looking out right now for cheap deals on players I like. I collect a lot of the Canadian players who are going to play in the Olympics this summer for Canada, if Canada makes it. That's my vibe right now. I just don't think any performances are really going to pump anybody more than they already are. I think popularity levels have been set on Top Shot. They're really hard to change that. Like we saw with, you remember LG that night, Fred VanVleet went off for a Raptors record.
Oh, yeah.
50.
Oh, yeah.
I asked you, I said, should I buy a bunch of them? You said no, because it's still Fred VanVleet. He's had the big night. The moments, it'll go up $5 or $6 that night. But after that, he'll come right back down to earth. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
One night after.
Yeah. And Fred not in line for the playoffs either, right? He's had some epic playoff games in the past. But this year, not looking good for the Raptors, and maybe they shouldn't try too hard to win too many games down the stretch.
I agree.
try and go a bit the opposite direction. Maybe get a little lottery pick. Phil D, it's been a pleasure. I'm stoked to see what happens with these 80 new moments. Like, people complain about new moments, but I think whenever there's going to be a legendary drop, and even anything that's a rare legendary, to me is exciting. Honestly, even some of the kind of whatever metallic gold players, it's like that's still exciting, man. Like getting a metallic gold in a pack is still cool, and I still think the EV for these packs is going to be pretty high. Might be a little negative for a few of them, but we'll see. We also don't know what that price point is going to be yet, and nothing's been announced. We don't know for sure that there's only going to be 30 holo icons. They could always make more that come out in a bigger pack drop. So there's nothing is for sure yet. So everybody keep that in mind. And Phil D, we'll have to get these going again sometime soon. It's been good to have you.
It's been nice to be back, and we're definitely doing a show as soon as they announce those requirements or those pack drops, because we love chaos. I'm here for the chaos. I can't wait to see it.
Absolutely.